Well, many Oklahomans are feeling the effects of inflation. A recent News on 6 poll shows jobs and the economy are the most important issues on the minds of voters.
So with fears of a recession, if you are elected, what bill or measure would you introduce or support to address inflation or the economy? We're going to begin with Mr. Frix.
Well, thank you for that question, and thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight as we talk about the important issues that are coming up in this consequential election just a week from today. You know, inflation, as I travel all 28 counties, I hear about inflation over and over again. And we've got to get back to energy independence. People are feeling it at the gas pump. We've got to get back to drilling here in the U.S. Instead of relying on our enemies, we've got to get back to energy independence. And then the second thing we've got to do is we've got to stop paying people not to work. As I travel to 28 counties, I talk to small business owners, and they say they can't find anybody to work, and the people that they can find to work don't want to be on the payroll because they'll lose their government assistance. That system is backwards. We've got to stop incentivizing people and not to work. We've got to drill right here in the U.S., get back to energy independence, and our country's going broke. Literally, our country's going broke, and we have got to balance our budget and start prioritizing the core services of government, cutting out the waste, fraud, and abuse, and balancing our budget. I've done that at the state legislative level. Every single year I was in office, I helped pass a balanced budget. I've done that in my small businesses. Every year I have to pass a balanced budget. I've done that in my personal life. We all have to do that. Why the federal government doesn't have to do that is absolutely absurd. We've got to get a balanced budget, get back to energy independence, and stop paying people not to work.
Mr. Brecheen, same question. What would you do to support, or what measure, rather, would you support to address inflation and the economy right now?
Balanced budget amendment. We are a nation that is teetering on fiscal bankruptcy. We have a $30 trillion national debt. Medicare insolvency is another issue. It's a $35 trillion hole in that program. That's why it's insolvent in 4 years. We have Social Security insolvency in another 11 years. With what we owe federal employees and veterans and different trust programs we've stolen out of over the last 40 years, we owe actually $120 trillion. And the U.S. Treasury report said that number is 80% of all wealth in America. We've lost 95% of the dollar value since 1900. Just since 2017, we've lost 19% of the dollar value. And this recession is caused by runaway federal spending and people who talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, but the record does not show you that they will do what's necessary. It takes courage to cut because we are so dependent as a society on free candy. All those checks that were sent in the mail, you just paid every one of them back through inflation.
All right, thank you. We're going to